I'm going to make some beanie weenies. Main reason because I've got some weenies, no buns. To make hot dogs, and I'm just going to make some beanie weenies, the old-fashioned kind. First you need to cut them up in about 1/4-inch pieces. It's a little known fact that these weren't developed by some food manufacturing company or anything like that. It was done by the Army. Back in 1938 they decided to make a ration that could be carried into the field by the men, eaten hot or cold. Each man could carry his own food. And in the Army they had A rations, which were served in a mess hall, B rations, which were cooked in the field and served in the field. So in the natural progression of things, these became known as C rations. Everybody thinks C stands for combat, but it doesn't. It stands for C. They did a lot of testing and everything in C rations, and well, the first ones they came up with weren't very good. And as they developed, they came up with frankfurters in beans. Need some diced onions. You know, they came up with a lot of different things, and some of them didn't go over very well. Probably the worst was mutton stew. I hated this stuff. I had to eat some of it in Korea, and it opened the can and smelled like a wet goat. Some people liked it, but actually the one that was the least liked in the military was ham and lima beans, which I happen to like. Which is good for me, because when we'd open our boxes of C rations, I could always trade something else for those. The first ones they made were just simply wieners and pork and beans. Van Camp's made the first ones. But then they got to playing with it and trying to figure out what would taste better, and unknowingly came up with first barbecue sauce. Put in some ketchup and about 1/4 as much mustard as ketchup, and 1/2 as much brown sugar. You start stirring this around on the burner to heat up. As they're cooking, you can put in a little splash of vinegar. This is balsamic. I like it. It has its own flavor. I like it. But you can use any kind of vinegar. That gives it that extra sharp taste. Once these are hot and cooking well, you add a can of pork and beans. Now you might think that Beanee Weenees was a name that some advertising executive up in Madison Avenue came up with for them, but it's probably some GI who called them Beanee Weenees, and the name stuck from then on. And there you have a pan of Beanee Weenees.